So let me watch myself here. It is 6:36 p.m. on June 13th, 2021. I'm doing a day ahead, right? Because somebody thought they were gonna what? Let's see what this says. Listen.
Riding my bicycle throughout Dallas. And when I was downtown, I saw a building, and I like to look at this building because it lots of times has raptors, actual birds of prey that circle it. Hawks, maybe falcons, circle the building. Every once in a while, light on the top. It always makes me happy when I see those birds. But this was different. There was a helicopter there, and I knew that that helicopter was there at that specific time for a specific reason. It was a flip on a military helicopter that I had seen a light on to a helipad right across the street from a homeless shelter in Dallas that I
I'm stopping it there. Why? It's not just any homeless shelter. It's a homeless shelter where that day, specifically, they had to frisk me, which they hadn't done with other people that had gone through their metal detector. And I had to go to a room in order to try to sign up. And they had an African American woman sitting behind a desk, and she had a name tag on. Her name was Bennett, Bennett. And everything about the encounter was so incredibly racist and offensive. Apparently, the head of their security was also their chef. And so when there was a problem, because there was also a African American woman and her young African American child in the room, I didn't even talk to them. But she had to call security because there was something going on that was inappropriate in front of the child. They insisted on touching me. They insisted on saying I was going to be required to engage in up to 4 hours a day of Christian indoctrination if I wanted to stay there overnight. And they had it in the paperwork that they were going to be authorized to use your Social Security for up to 6 months. Now, this is from a video I recorded on June 14th, 2020. 1 year will be tomorrow. Is it true that they just officially decided to end the presidency, or rather the leadership, after 12 years? Is he expected to pay my taxes? See, I was supposed to get a U.S. savings bond with my tax return, but you let somebody else that keeps wanting to divert me to someplace I'm not supposed to be, right? Why would you set it up and contrive to have a completely racist paradigm play out now for 5 years? Where my presence makes it unsafe for young children, and yet you intend to use me as a pass through to finance the exploitation of children. That's exactly what you did last night. What do you intend to do in the 1 year of this? Did you intentionally set it up so that whatever happens with the stepping down of Netanyahu and the assumption of authority by Bennett in Israel, did you actually successfully engage in such disgusting anti Semitism that you were literally able to manipulate the political situation in Israel so severely that your little jackass Christian wannabe lawyer, pretending like he was chastised unrighteously by the State Bar of Texas, while they completely slandered and sexually degraded a woman who happened to be African American and was a judge, so that you can sabotage again the administration of the nation of Israel, because you guys still have not admitted what the Israeli bank stock scandal was about. Let me ask you, you've already liquidated anything adequate about secular Palestinian leadership. Who are you planning to liquidate next? This is a very serious question. Your Christian fundamentalism does not have what it takes to cover your overextensions on other people's credit. What are you going to do now? I am not going to let you try to pay me back in a prepubescent girl you allowed to be sexually exploited her entire fucking life because you set it up for her to be your drug dealer when she was in the middle age. I'm not actually a drug dealer. You guys defaulted. I'm not taking any kids. Do you understand? What are you going to do about this? This is very serious. We're in a very, very serious situation now. You did not succeed. And in the meantime, you spent, now it does appear, unfortunately, 83, 93, 2003, 2013. You're 2 years shy of 40 years. 40 years of a completely ridiculous, unacceptable effort at genocide that you're trying to start up again. See, the thing is, in some manners, there is a possibility within a certain amount of time for a contract to be canceled or disgorged or rescinded, right? I think this qualifies. All of that fake stock you set up that you've been murdering all of these other children to try to get coverage for, it didn't pass the test. I'm sorry that nobody shut down those banks and now you still owe them. See, this is the problem now, right? You didn't bust organized crime in the financial sector. You decided you were going to leverage getting away with hooking up bad stock deals based on the sexual exploitation of children, right? But in order to do that, you needed certain things liquidated to cover the transition. I blew up your fucking bridge. You didn't shut down the fucking banks. Now you're the ones that owe them. And you owe them for every fucking murdered child that you allowed to be attributed as COVID-19. And you owe them for every fucking orphaned child you created as part of COVID-19. And you're not going to get any charitable donations or credit because you're going to adopt them and then use them and exploit them like, I don't know, the former ambassador of Honduras did. That's your 5 for today, guys. And that's your 5 moving forward. You allowed that man to strategically adopt foreign children so that he could sexually exploit them. And it's come back to roost right here in the United States, hasn't it? Yes, it has. Yes, it fucking has. So every time your sanctimonious ass thinks that it's okay to use somebody else's child as some charity case in order for you to cover up for your crime, that's what you gotta pay for. You never paid for it. You never paid for it. And you decided you were entitled to completely hustle my entire fucking life on a bet that by the time I was ending up at 44 years old, I would save you with drugs. I would be the drug dealer, and then you could advocate to help me get out of a life of crime by making some legal changes and decriminalizing all of those things I got wrapped up in. But I'm not the fucking drug dealer. And I'm not the fucking child molester. And I didn't let you fucking adopt me, even though you murdered my family. All of that shit defaulted. And if by tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. you haven't shut those fucking banks down, you're the one that fucking owes. And they canceled your diversions through the credit union. Unfortunately, you're not going to avail yourself of any derivatives in this regard. I apologize. I'm really sorry. Thank you, baby. Thank you so much for paying my fucking taxes. By the way, my name's Charity. I wasn't supposed to be obligated to any taxes. It was supposed to be a savings bond in order to pay for school security. They just didn't want to give it to me. I guess they wanted to give me you, right? Is that what I'm owed? Is that how good my stock was back in 1980? What, 1? 3? 77? Hmm? Well, thank you so much, right? In the meantime, we got to figure out what we're going to do about this Bennett thing. You didn't want to deal with Bennett under Clinton. You didn't want to deal with Bennett in the 2016 election any more than you do now, right? Are you going to let him get away with this? Oh, wait a second. I know, we're getting a little confused now. It would behoove you to actually focus on what you were supposed to be doing for the last 45 years, right? Because we don't have much time left.